Being a Celtics fan is easy was the biggest lie I was ever told. It was June 16th, 2022, and I was on a couch watching the last game the Celtics would play that season. My emotions were bitter, disappointed, and angry. The Celtics team I've watched slowly climb up to the finals had got squandered by Curry, and there was a mystery if the Celtics would even make it this far again. And that was just the first part. The second part was the media. Every fan base would take a turn clowning the Celtics. Tatum's a playoff choker. The Celtics will never see this again. Steph Curry owns Boston. Were the things every Celtics fan had to hear that summer. It was pure heartbreak. But first, how did we even get here? How did the Celtics even make the finals? Well, let's start in something I like to call the Tatum era. Basically, it was Tatum's rookie season, 2018. The Celtics were fighting for a final spot, but LeBron wasn't gonna let it be so easy. Game 5 at the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals was a breeze for the Celtics. At the time, the Rockets were up 3-2 on the Warriors, and it seems like we're gonna get a Celtics vs Rockets Finals. Something that every NBA fan wanted to see. So now we get to Game 6, and LeBron shows the Celtics what he's made of. Then came Game 7, a moment where Celtics fans wish they could rewrite history. The game started off in a boom for the Celtics, but before you know it, the LeBron-led Cavs would come climbing right back. And just like that, it was a close game. The Celtics vs Cavs, Game 7. The winner would make the finals and possibly make history. As a Boston fan, you were tense, you were hyped, you wanted that finals appearance. But those dreams would slowly vanish as the Celtics racked up turnovers and finally looked beatable. The Celtics team that was up 3-2 was now on the knees of LeBron. Pause. And LeBron would hit one of the most coldest daggers in NBA history. A driving layup and one to win the Cavs the game. The NBA world was shocked. Just a week earlier, both teams that lost were up 3-2. And just like every year in the past at the time, it was Curry vs LeBron. And the Celtics would have to pack their bags for Cancun. Still though, it looked bright for the C's. Kyrie was gonna stay. Tatum was entering his sophomore year, and the whole roster was still here. It was still exciting being a Celtics fan, and there was a lot to look forward to. Now the next season starts, and Kyrie Irving is looking like a shell of himself. Gordon Hayward looks like he needs new knees, and the previous rookie who's in his sophomore year is being asked to lead the Celtics again. But surely everything will figure itself out, right? Well, no. In fact, we will lose in the second round. Celtics fans were shocked. The previous year, they made the conference finals. Now, it looks like they're rebuilding. C's fans were heated at Kyrie. Not only did he play with no heart, but he entered free agency and joined Brooklyn in the summer. A betrayal that Celtics fans still hold a grudge to this day. But what Celtics fans didn't know was one of Kyrie's family members passing away. And he also got surgery on his ankle. A big misunderstanding that would put Boston in a frenzy. Boston was in panic mode. Do we trade for Anthony Davis? Do we trade Jaylen Brown? Do we trade Jason Tatum? Do we contend? Do we rebuild? Do we still even try? Well, the Celtics GM would answer that question in the offseason. The Celtics GM, which I forgot his name at the time, was in conversations of acquiring Anthony Davis. Now the package looked like this. Basically, in simpler terms, the Pelicans GM was high, and the C's kept Brown and Tatum, the runner back in 2020. Now 2020 was a weird year, cause quarantine happened, but the Celtics also made the conference finals. Kemba Walker was the new leader of the team, and for the first time since 2018, the Celtics actually had a chance to make the finals again. These dreams will be squandered by Jimmy Bubble Monster, who made it his mission to make the finals. It wasn't over for Boston fans, but at this point, there was little hope that they will be championship contenders in the future. Still though, there was still things to look forward to. Jaylen Brown had emerged as a star, Jason Tatum was a superstar, and Kemba Walker, for the first time in what felt like decades, made the All-Star team. But we were soon disappointed. 2021 was a repeat season of 2019. Injuries plagued the team, and it took Tatum 51 points just to make it out the play-in. This team clearly wasn't meant for the playoffs. And again, Celtics fans were losing hope. Things were looking bad for Boston, and it wouldn't get any better when the next season, the Celtics had a losing record by the All-Star break. The energy is about to shift. Is Jaylen Brown's iconic tweet that would spark the Celtics in a frenzy. The Celtics would go on a rampage, and they would end up the second seed by the playoffs. They faced the Nets. The Nets, who had just took the defending champs to a Game 7 the year prior. Now obviously, this is a very weird Nets team. They lost James Harden, but got more depth and more chemistry, which led to almost everybody thinking they were gonna upset Boston. But the Celtics would shock everybody, and they would sweep the Nets. Tatum had his best career series ever. The next one wasn't as easy though. The Bucks would prove a formidable opponent and take the Celtics to 7. But Jason Tatum would prove his worth, and he would drop 46 to force a Game 7 on the Bucks. And in Game 7, otherwise known as the Grant Williams game, Grant Williams would drop 27 points in a dominant win. Ladies and gentlemen, we were back. For the first time since 2020, we made the conference finals again. And this time, the Celtics would get the revenge on Jimmy Bubble Monster. The series went to 7, a battle of blood every game. And in the end, the Celtics were barely able to fend off the Heat. We did it. We made the finals since 2010. Boston was right where it needed to be. And this time, they needed to capitalize. Game 1 was a comeback win for the Celtics. The C's were right there. Win 3 more games and we'll be hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Game 2 was a disaster. The Warriors responded. Game 3 was another dominant win for the Celtics. Win the next game and we will go up 3-0. Only one team has responded to a 3-1 lead in the finals. The 2016 Cavs. All the Celtics had to do was win Game 4, and it would be over. Boston would win its 18th championship. But man oh man, it couldn't have gone worse. This game, also known as the Death Game, is the game where Curry defined his legacy. He torched the Celtics for 47 points, and left our fanbase in shambles. In a game where it could have been a 3-1 lead for the C's, it ended up a tied series, with the Warriors having all of the momentum. And Game 5 couldn't have gone worse. Andrew Wiggins locked up Tatum. It's like our best player was in jail. In Game 6, as everybody knows, the Warriors blew us out. It was over. The Celtics failed to win the championship. I was almost in tears. I don't know if I would ever see the Celtics make a finals again. But now we get to 2023. And 2023 was brighter. We got some new additions in the offseason, Malcolm Brogdon, and Danilo Gallinari. By the way, Gallinari wouldn't play a single game. And it was a bumpy road for the Celtics. Game after game, lead after lead, that was sold. The Celtics had a bad habit at selling leads, and that would cost them. But for now, they were in the playoffs, and this was a season where they would redeem themselves. They had unfinished business, and it was time to get working. In a messy series versus the Hawks, they won in 7. But it's okay. The 2008 Celtics went to 7 with the Hawks too. No problem. Then we versed Philadelphia. Game after game. It was a battle. Game winners, sold leads, 40-point double-doubles. Everything happened in this series. And eventually, the devil was staring Tatum right in his eyes. It was Game 6. And Tatum was having the worst game of his career. The media was having a field day with Tatum. But all of a sudden, something snapped. As we all know, Tatum would go off for 15 straight points to lead the Celtics for the win. That was it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to a game 7 where Boston has all of the momentum. Tatum would drop 51 points in game 7, and it would prove his best game of his career. The Sixers team didn't even stand a chance. The Boston Celtics have just sent a message to everybody else in the league. And to make things better, the A-seeded Heat made the conference finals. Celtics fans thought they were staring their second finals appearance in a row. But man, it couldn't have gone any worse than it actually did. Game 1 and 2 was a disaster for the Celtics. And in Game 3, they fell to the very bottom. It might have been over. The Celtics season might have been wraps to an AFC. But it wasn't over yet. The Celtics responded with 2 straight games. From here, it was Game 6. The game that would decide a finals appearance for the second time in a row for the Celtics, or another finals appearance for Jimmy Monster. Game 6 was a battle throughout, but it would end in a Derek White buzzer beater that would force Game 7. It was like the dark cloud that was hovering over Boston suddenly disappeared. Everything was bright and shiny, rainbows everywhere. But all of them would disappear in Game 7. The Heat blew them out. The Heat blew the Celtics out. And Tatum got injured on the first play of the game. Following this injury, Jaylen Brown had the worst series of his career. Heartbreak. And the same Heat team who beat the Celtics that year squandered in 5 to the Nuggets. The Tatum hate was at a pinnacle. Was I still gonna be a Tatum fan? Was I still gonna be a Celtics fan? I didn't know at the time. But one thing I knew is that if the Celtics still wanted to contend, they were gonna have to make some roster changes. And that's exactly what happened. Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, and Robert Williams, gone. The C's got Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. 2 acquisitions that would instantly put Boston in championship favorites. The season was a breeze. The Celtics looked like they were gonna win a championship. And that's exactly what happened. The Celtics did it. Or as Tatum said, we did it. It was amazing. For the first time in what felt like forever, the Celtics were on top of the NBA world. No Tatum hate. No Jaylen Brown hate. No Celtics hate. It was all just praise. It was amazing being a Celtics fan. Celtics fans deserve this. I deserve this. And it would be one of the most memorable moments of my life. And the mission of back-to-back championships for the C's still lives on today. If y'all enjoyed the video, leave a like. As always, the first person to comment first under the video will be getting pinned. Let me know if y'all fuck with this content. I made this video a little different, just trying to experiment. Until later, I'll see y'all, man. Peace.